Hey, teacher Lilian. The purpose of this video is to explain and make the evidence number 1, option 1, that is in Canvas. And I have the instructions of this activity. Says, make a list of 15 graphics elements to use in a presentation. Create a 5-minute presentation explaining and providing an example of the relationship of planning, types of presentations, communication skills, and audience for successful presentations. Provide a reflection of the skills you need to improve for future presentations and list 3 abilities that you already have. Make a video recording of your presentation and send the link of the video to your professor. Well, in the module number 1, I'm see five topics, and the topic number 1 is starting an effective presentation. In this topic, there are some terms or some characteristics to make an effective presentation. For example, the point number 1 that say practice. To understand your presentation and what you are going to explain, you have to practice the topic, and they have a phrase that says practice makes you a better person, and you don't need to memorize. You don't need to memorize the topic, but you have to understand you to have a conscience of the topic at what you are saying to your class or to your audience. Another point is to be assertive. For example, your posture and presence in their presentation. A still purpose can make you a performance and obtain your posture and gesture supporting elements in delivering your topic. The point number 3 is the eye contact. You have to make eye contact with your audience to catch the attention of your audience, to assure that your audience is paying the attention that the topics you are explaining to all of us. The eye contact, you need to use the eye contact because in the presentation you are probably nervous, and this can help you. You need to get to have a good pronounce and on your language, for example. Another things that are important for this is your voice, your volume, your pitch, your ring, timbre, and breath. Breath is important because if you don't breathe correctly, your voice can distort or can be different if you don't breathe correctly. So it's an important point. Breathe and drink water because you can dry up or you're explaining something and you have to drink water to refresh your voice. The topic 2 are the type of presentations. And there are a lot of presentations that can use for different purposes. For example, the informative presentations. In informative presentations, there are two types of presentations: the reporting and explaining. The reporting is to use to explain an event or to monitor an event. An explanatory is to give information about a new product. The Woodward presentations can make the purpose of these presentations is to make feel better your audience and improve the reputation of the company. The multipurpose presentations will have more than one purpose, and we organize to the most important one part of the presentation. And arousing presentations is sometimes good option to make people care or notice about a certain situation or problems, and explain us or give us the idea directly to the audience to understand better the situation that we are representing in our presentation. The steps to organize the presentations are these: A. Presentations structure. B. Introduction. C. Main points and transitions. And D. The conclusion. These are the structure that we have to guide to make your presentation more effective. For this part of the video, I take the topic number 3, that are communication introduction. There are a diagram of a communication process that we see in class that for example, in this diagram we can see a lot of arguments or characteristics to give a message to the sender and the receipt. For example, the message, the sender, the receipt, the noise encodes, the noise, and the medium you can give the message. For example, as we see, there are some steps to give effective presentation, and you can see a lot. You can understand and see a lot of audience, a lot of audience in when you give your presentations. For example, the presentations, the audience that are unaware, the indifferent audience, the favorable, and more types of audience. And there are some elements that we can use in your presentations to make more mass attractive. For example, um, the points, the lines that we use, the shapes, forms, tones, the textures, the colors, and the fonts, the figurant, the balance, cropping, hierarchy, scale, proportion, pattern, and these elements. To use these elements, you can find or you can record to a graphic designer to help you to do these steps of these elements to make your presentation more attractive. And there's a lot of topics that we can touch or make in this video, and this helps in this first model we use these characteristics and these tips to make more effective presentation. In the instruction says, provide a reflection of the skills you need to improve for your future. I think that when I give a presentation, for example, to my classroom or to my class, I need to do better things or provide better things for me and work in some defects that I have. For example, that I'm so nervous when I give the presentation. I can, for example, my position, I can change my position to see to another audience. I have one point on my eye and I see it. I don't change of point, and I need to practice more my speaking, my voice, so that things that can make better the presentations that I give, not only in this class, to other presentations in English that I can make in the future. Three abilities that I can see in me, for example, or three activities that I can have is to be creative, because in the presentations I design, of the posters I design, I use my creativity to, for example, to give a perfectly designed to understand. It's important because the audience, you need to understand, and the presentation have to be attractive for the audience. Another activity I have is that I speak when I'm inspired or I have the correct words. I can give great ideas. So it's another activity we can have. And I'm so I try to give good points. For example, if I explaining something on my presentation, I can try to give points of tips or notes or new notes to complete the idea that I give us to the audience. I find characteristics or new ideas to give to the audience, and this is important because, well, I have these three abilities, but I have to work more in my defects to keep presentation because, well, everyone have defects in to give presentations, but I need to work in that. And is all for my video. Thank you for watch them, and good day.